can activate a rule, disable a rule for a specific day, you can change the rule, and you can actually print the rule for future. Not only that, you can actually import and export a rule. Now this is where utility will be getting a lot of benefit, because you can test all the policy in the previous system, test it out there, and when you're about to go live, you can export the rule. Export the rules and import into the live system. So does that make sense? Any questions? Any comments? Okay. I'll move on. I know it's new. Any questions, any information on the product, please stop by the booth, and we are going to give you all the details regarding the process. And you will see some live action here too, so that you can get a feel for it, how the process works. So once the rules have been configured, we can look at the process in action. Let's take an example of an account based on the rules that we set together, on the policies that we have defined. Let's run some criteria. Let me take an example of a consumer where one of the rules fails. So basically he belongs to class 22. I basically edited a criteria or a policy saying that arrangement is only allowed for a consumer who is greater than 25, class 25. So when we try to create an arrangement on it, a CSR will get a criteria results which says that they have failed the validation of consumer class. Now this override button will not be available for a normal CSR. It's only for a higher privileged billing manager, because you want to minimize CSRs overriding the policy of the utility, so that it is enforced consistently. So for a normal CSR, this button would not be there. At this point, a CSR would not be able to create an arrangement for that consumer, because according to the utility policy, that consumer is not eligible for an arrangement, period. Now they can go and override it, or talking to a billing manager, but not a normal CSR. Let's take the same action happening through the portal. And compared to the existing system, where the business rules are different or the parameter logics are different across various channels, we converge them. No matter which channel of the business process the consumer is coming through, the policy is enforced consistently, the same manner. These messages can be customized using the portal business rules, but at this point the consumer has been denied an arrangement coming through the portal. The same thing will happen if the consumer calls the IVR system. Not only that, the good thing about it is that I can go back to UPN, try to look at the rules execution history, and that will tell me what exactly the consumer did across these various channels. So I came through portal, these are my results. I came through UPN, these are my results. The reason for this audit trail is that I'm sure we have consumers who call the IVR system and it denies the arrangement. They put the phone down, go through portal, it denies it, they call the CSR, and say that please, I'm in trouble, can you make an arrangement? And that nice CSR is going to make that arrangement. Isn't that true? How many get that experience? Yes. So those are the kind of scenarios we try to consistently enforce across all the channels so that the human error is eliminated. And CSR can always say that the system says you cannot get the arrangement. I cannot do anything. So that's about the rules execution history, where you can look at the audit trail. We keep track of about 10 to 10, I think, about 10 results history elements. Now those are the highlights of the process. Now let's go and look at how the system would look if all the rules have passed. Once this rules platform has been enabled at the utility, they should not really see what is happening in the background. So let's take a consumer who really passed all the rules. We try to create an arrangement for a consumer. We know all the rules have been passed. Now for them, they don't see any difference. CSR will move forward. It's like a normal arrangement process. They go and complete the process. But we can still go and see the execution history of the rules. That's what it is. So it's always like an add-on product for your automation. We can drive more and more traffic through the portal or through the IVR with this new process. And you can reduce the call volume to the CSR. Does that make sense? Any questions so far? How would that work? Any questions? No questions. Okay. Now let's look at a little more information where I'm going to try to change it. Let's take validation of a meter temp. So the way the rule reads is that the number of meter tampons in maximum days, which is 45, you can set that in one of the parameters or the criteria. I should not be using the word parameter because we are trying to get away from it. So it's a criteria.